Frameshift drive charging.
Right, I've changed the slice file size to 1024 in the ultra settings.
4, 3, 2, 1. Engage.
I really need a new motor. Constantly pull out the wire and push it back in to get the joystick to work.
Fuel scooping. Fuel scooping complete.
Right. With my last test with bumping up to 4K, when I was in the ship above the planets it wasn't so bad, but when I was actually in the SRV, the FPS went down to 30 and 40, so it did have a massive impact when you're on the surface. So it's definitely not a solution to the problem changing the slice file size, but it's a way to alleviate it from orbit at least. But yeah, I think the problem's a bit deeper than that for some of the planets. I think the slice size might just be another symptom of the problem rather than being the problem. So there's something to do with the shading and the shadows and the grids of the planet somewhere, because if it's the same grids constantly showing up like it always does, then it's got to be something to do with the sole planet that's there. You know. It doesn't happen on all of the planets. I think the majority of them are fine, it's just I think there was a lot of squares that showed up on the Thargoid planet and the Guardian Roman planet, so it could be structures that mesh into planets somehow, or assets or something. It's like that anaconda that's just placed there on the surface. It can't be a coincidence that a lot of the time it's something that's next to a square, you know. Not all the time, but again, it could be just another symptom, you know. I can't remember when I did this if it was in the beta or live, so we'll find out. Last time I did this, it had like 4 squares show up. It was just, I think there might have been a 5th. I can't remember if this test was done in live or in the beta with the new coloration of the planets. But we will see. Oh, really bad if it doesn't happen now. But I'm just showing you guys the, you know, going from one system to another, restarting the game, just so you can see that everything we're doing, you know. Right, where's that ship? Much easier. Alright, we'll slow down a bit. It was on our left somewhere.
Orbital flight engaged.
Pretty sure it was on the left. Oh, and would you look at that, they don't show up. So it might have been in the beta. Some odd shadowing over there. That's weird. Ooh. There we go, look. Yeah, this is what I saw. So it didn't show up in orbit this time, but as you can see, the squares are moving with me this time. Ha! Yeah, this time they're moving with my. And all I've done in the file is just change the slice size. This time the permanent one on the planet hasn't showed up, but instead I've got a square that follows me wherever I look. So it's like this time the shadow is moving with me, but it isn't. It's really weird. All I've done is literally just changed in the ultra settings bit in the configuration file. Shadows and all of that sort of stuff is just slice file size from 4K down to 1, so 1024. That's all I've done, and it's done this. I haven't touched any of the settings. They're all the same. That's the same. Everything's on ultra or as high as it can go. The only difference is I've overridden the anisotropic. This goes for the last test as well. In the NVIDIA drivers, I've got it set to times 16, not times 8 in here, so the NVIDIA one will be overwriting that, I expect. But that I've done tests in the past, that has no difference at all. It just makes stuff look better. There's nothing to do with that's on, but I've got the NVIDIA cache switched off, so it will constantly take like 10 seconds to boot up the game instead of just doing it like that. But yeah, that's all I've done, and it's created a weird bug where instead of the square being on the planet, it seems to be around your ship on the ground wherever you go. So Christ knows why that is. I have no idea. But again, it's slice file size. I could try and move away from this area. Let's go back into Super Cruise and go to another part of the planet and see if it's still there.
Frameshift drive charging. 4, 3, 2, 1. Engage.
Because last time I did this, I had that shadow following me around, but before that, when I got down to the floor, there was like 4 or 5 squares in orbit. But because I've already been playing the game a couple of times, I've got virtual memory on, and super fetch on, but I doubt they'd get involved in the game that much. I don't think it's an issue. I think it's just lots of symptoms. Right, okay, so now we will go and nosedive down somewhere else, a couple 100 kilometers away. And we will see what's over here. Pyramids. Forgotten civilization. Or just lots of carbon. Yeah, you see that shadowing dithering on the left hand side there. This could it be this? Yeah, it follows me anywhere I go. So I'm wondering, could this be tied to the planets somehow, or something else, or maybe not? I don't know. But there are certain settings, like 1024 is the slice file size of 1024 is meant to be for low to medium machines, so all the shaders can have different numbers on. So I expect some things will be activated and some of the things won't. But yeah, you can see it creates similar sort of triangles to what you get, squares that you get on. You can see the corner of it just there. And it remains fairly consistent. So there's got to be there might be a link to that and the squares on the planets. I don't know, but they definitely always appear at some areas of the planets more than others, and at more or less frequency. So there's got to be some sort of shadowy setting that's out by 0.1 or something. I don't know. But I don't get paid to test that here. But this is literally as far as I'll go with the testing with the slice file sizes, because I've done so many other different tests and it's made no difference. So it's got to be hardwired into the game somewhere, and these problems are carried over to the console versions as well. So it's in the actual game's code rather than any problems with graphics drivers or anything like that, I think. But yeah.
Scan detected.
Sorry guys, but that's all I can test for you really. As I could jumble more numbers around and stuff, but I honestly don't know what I'm doing in the config files to understand what I'm changing or what I'm testing or what I'm affecting. So there's probably a good reason why these squares show up, and you probably know why. But it'll have to be something to do with something I don't understand. I'm not a programmer. So you probably know what that is anyway. But yeah, I'll put these up in a second. So thanks for watching. Bye.